Also in some of the good people here at the beach who are helping others to clean up, as Joe just reported. But perhaps the ugliest side of humanity is here, too. Police say they don't have an exact number, but they've arrested a lot of people for looting, trying to make some money, capitalizing on these people's misery.
Well, Bill and Suzanne, here at Slug's restaurant is probably one of the few places in Charlotte where you can find both light and food. Hurricane Hugo left a lot of people without power, but those people in the dark are finding things to do. Crews worked into the night trying to restore light to the hundreds of thousands of powerless Charlotte residents. Residents like George and Ruth Pappas, married for 22 years. And this is the first time in a long time they have sat by kerosene light and just talked about old times.
And I've been talking about when I went to school up in the mountains, about 4 years.
Food on the grill and the spirit of partying in the air. This group didn't seem to mind being in the dark.
We're resting, man. We've been using chainsaws all day long, clearing driveways and that kind of thing, and this is the only way we got to eat. You know, it's either this or go sit in a house that's completely dark.
Then there are your teenage cruisers. Light or no light, the music and cruising madness goes on. And so do all the jokes about the night when the lights went out in Charlotte.
Hey, try Bush. Oh, try Bud Light.
So a lot of people, Bill and Suzanne, are taking not having any light in stride. An interesting thing I find out once getting here to Slug's restaurant is that the couple that you see behind me are celebrating their wedding anniversary, or wedding reception, rather. They were supposed to have the wedding reception uptown, where there was light, supposedly, but that didn't happen, so they came here where there was.
I'm getting used to it now. It's not that bad. The only thing is like shaving in the with the candlelight. That's a little tough. You know, I've cut myself a few times.
Look who's back. Now, all your child's dinosaur friends from the land before time are available on video cassette. And when you buy any pizza from Pizza Hut, your child can get one of 2 new Land Before Time dinosaur puppets, Spunky Little Petrie for 99 cents, or Mighty Shark Tooth for $1.49. Supplies are limited, so get yours from Pizza Hut before they become extinct.
Pizza Hut, make it great.
Your Dodge dealer announces the biggest ever sale on trucks, because we've got big cash on more truck models in stock than ever before. Get the biggest cash back ever, $2,000 on our most popular half-ton pickup. Save up to $4,100 when you add package savings, or get an unprecedented $1,500 cash back on Dakota. Plus, big cash on Dodge Club Cabs, new for $90. Get a ton of money on tons of trucks now. See your local Carolina Dodge dealer today for the biggest ever sale on trucks.
Until now, dandruff shampoos have done one thing well.
It got rid of my dandruff.
It got rid of my dandruff.
It got rid of my dandruff.
But now there's a dandruff shampoo that does more. New Dandruff Control Pert Plus. Dandruff shampoo plus complete conditioner in one. So you get rid of flakes and condition your hair in one step. And that's big news.
My hair's in great condition. Oh, and it got rid of my dandruff.
New Dandruff Control Pert Plus. The biggest news in dandruff shampoo since dandruff shampoo.
Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m., Charleston, the day after.
Well, we're going to go out to the coast now. There is some good news to report from Charleston, South Carolina. Mayor Joseph Riley, pardon me, he has met with officials of South Carolina Electric and Gas, and he says they hope to have power restored to the hospitals there by late today. Again, to the hospitals in the Charleston area. They are number one on the priority list. We still have no word, though, on when the rest of the city of Charleston is going to get power. As you may have heard by now, Charleston was simply devastated by Hurricane Hugo. The city is being patrolled by hundreds of National Guardsmen who are there to prevent looting. We understand that 90 people so far in the Charleston area have been arrested for looting, and the mayor is asking that only residents of the city of Charleston try to return today. Don't go to Charleston just to see what's happened.
The NCNB building alone lost 65 windows, and there's still a lot of danger in the downtown area. The view from the NCNB building reveals some pretty heavy damage also in the First Union Tower. Work crews hope to have all the broken windows repaired in time for normal business operations on Monday morning.
Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Managing Chaos.
We intend to cover especially those areas that are vulnerable to robbery and stealing if people do not leave. we have given a strong order. They will be arrested.
Now, it's important to remember that a curfew is not in effect. What police will be doing is arresting people in suspicious areas only after they refuse to leave, after they've asked them. Mayor Myrick has joined us right now. Mayor, let me ask you this. We've got 200 more National Guardsmen arriving, but beyond that, you called for some additional help.
Right. We have requested help with traffic because starting tomorrow and especially on Monday, we're going to have a difficult time. The intersections the traffic lights are not working. They're not going to be back up for some time. Even the railroad crossings, people need to be certain that they stop at railroad crossings because none of the warning lights are working.
What's the first thing you did when the power came back on?
Praise the Lord.
But for every Fay Wingate, there are still 100, maybe 1,000 A.W. Cronkies, sweating up a storm outside with a freezer full of food melting inside.
Some would, I imagine, probably be all right if we get some power shortly. But if we don't get it before very long, why, it's going to be SOL. Gone.
Most of us today are in the same boat, beaten for now by this and this. Most of us, but not all. Some people, it seems, are getting along just fine without Duke's power.
We've got a generator, and it provides power for our microwave, our crock pot, and the toaster oven behind us over here. And also the neighbor on either side, we're furnishing them power for the bare necessities.
Pete Halsey is a generous man, getting his neighbors hooked up with his generator, but obviously Pete Halsey is one of the few, not the many, in this situation. Still many, many people without power tonight.
This huge oak tree is the reason that Steve Newman spent most of his day on the roof of his home in Elizabeth. Down below, he got some unexpected help from two guys who were driving by and just decided to pitch in.
I've got a chainsaw. I got two friends on this street. One didn't need my help. I ended up here second place, and you see what's happening.
The spirit is real important right now. There's a lot to do, and the more it gets done, the more people can get back to some kind of normalcy.
Getting back to normal is going to take weeks, maybe months. But neighbors pitching in to help neighbors is turning out to be a silver lining from Hugo's destructive cloud.
I think it is really a time where everyone's pulling together with one another.
None of us has everything we need, but together we're finding we can pool our resources and basically take care of each other.
I can manage to open a can of cold pork and beans, a loaf of bread, cheese, and that stuff, because you just have to cope with what's going on.
Frank Burdell is one of many senior citizens living in Elizabeth. His home took a direct hit from this old tree. And like many people, he's worried about insurance.
The main thing is kind of get yourself adjusted, then talk to the insurance people. And hope and pray we can get it back like it was halfway.
Most people are trying to keep a good attitude about the aftermath of the storm, but here on Greenway Drive in Elizabeth, it's a little bit easier said than done because 9 trees are blocking the street. People are having difficulty getting in and out.
We've talked to the command center several times, explaining that Greenway is completely immobile and that we have elderly people here and people with babies, and they've told us we're on the list, that they can't give us a priority.
And the priority here on Greenway is to get the street cleared and open. The other major issue, like almost everywhere else in Charlotte, is power.
Some of the older folks in the neighborhood are worried about break-ins. The alarms are all down. We'd really like to be able to have some electricity to have some burglar alarms, if nothing else. Street lights are out. It's a little scary here at night, not knowing where you can go or how you can get help.
Right now in most neighborhoods, it's a matter of getting by with a little help from your friends. Bill Coy, Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
South Carolina Governor Carol Campbell today ordered 2,600 members of the National Guard to the South Carolina coast. They are there tonight to enforce a curfew. He toured the area again today and said that he has never in his life seen anything like it. The governor said it's beyond your worst nightmare. He said it was devastating. Damage along South Carolina's coastline is estimated at up to $3 billion. And of course, the hardest hit areas were Myrtle Beach and Charleston. Today, Channel 9's Steve Gasquet went on an aerial tour of Myrtle Beach to visit and see the destruction and devastation left over by the hurricane.
You will not believe the pictures that you're about to see. Steve's been out on the beach since Wednesday, and he is joining us once again live with a tour tonight.